Good morning. It's Thursday, October 17th, 2019, and Sunday in our bonus episode, we introduced you to our new little friends, finally, our shrimp livestock. So let's go out on the web and find out what we can learn about. Today, instead of doing tank of the day or tip of the day, we're going to do a species spotlight on our new livestock. Our supplier sent us Mississippi grass shrimp, and I'm going to stumble through this Latin, but I'm going to give it a good try. Palaemonetes, kadiakensis, I hope that's right. This species synopsis comes from Missori Department of Conservation, because the Mississippi River runs through Missouri, and many of the aquatic species, both flora and fauna, are native up through the Mississippi Valley and up into states adjacent to me. So let's see what they have to say. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to hit some highlights. It's a freshwater shrimp, and they're similar to crayfish but are easily distinguished from them. And the most distinguishing characteristic is that they're very slender and transparent, as you've seen in our little measuring cup when we were doing the drip, or about to do the drip acclimation. There's a similar species called the Ohio shrimp, or the Ohio River shrimp, and that's a Brachium Ohionae. I would assume that's how they Latinized Ohio. And it's described as translucent and pale grayish tan with blackish, brownish, or bluish speckles. And then there are differences in the rostrum, which is like the long nose-like, what we would think of as a nose. It's actually called a rostrum, this thing right here. And the difference is that one species, the Ohio, has 9 to 13 teeth, and the Mississippi has fewer, I think 7 or 8. But in order to make these distinctions between these two species, you would have to use pretty high magnification, and I don't think our magnifying glass is going to cut it. So they eat a variety of small invertebrates, plankton and algae, and various organic detritus, which means that they eat decaying plant matter, and also they eat freshwater algae, as do amanos. But they are more of an omnivore, and so they do need a freshwater plankton-like diet, or need to be supplemented with it. And I've heard of people having success with Artemia, and so I might try that. We'll see. The females carry their eggs attached to swimmerets beneath the abdomen. When the young hatch, the earliest stages are planktonic, drifting around the water at the mercy of the currents, not walking on the bottom of the substrate. And these larvae are called Nupalii. Singular is Nupalius, and they look very different than the adults, and they only have 3 pair of appendage. They, as they eat and grow, they become more like their adults. Alright, so we're gonna scroll back up because I really want you to see this picture. The eggs in her swimmerets are sort of a creamy pale green. The ones that I have raised were green eggs. and greener than this. So that was in the past, and I think this is the species we have now because it's the more common of the two. You want to hit another. This is USGS, and they're classified as non-indigenous aquatic species. Not sure why they're classified that way, and I didn't bother to find out, to be frank. So this is more the color of the eggs that I had in my previous aquarium, and this striation or striping looks more like my previous livestock. But I had one at least that had thick striping looking more like a Cardina species, well, no, a Neocardina species than this does. So this is a more technical article, and it talks about the same general, what do I want to say? The same general characteristics, and the three qualifications here talk about the same things that we just talked about in the other synopsis. But what I really want you to notice here is the species range. So ours come actually from either Mississippi or Louisiana. I don't remember which, the supplier said. And they range all the way up into the Ohio River Valley. And you can see that they can be found as far north as the Minnesota, southeastern part of Minnesota, and the southern part of Michigan, as well as Ohio. Looks like a little bit in Pennsylvania, and a little bit of New York. That's interesting because New York is not listed. So that's where, down here is where mine came from, and I will be interested to see how they develop into the adult form. I hope you found that species spotlight interesting. If you didn't know that North America had its own native shrimp, then now you do. During this segment, we played a little trick on you. You might have noticed. We had background music, and we've been talking about choosing new outro music. We flashed the choices during the reading of the species spotlight on the screen for you. Well, that's it. That's all I have for you today. I can hear in my voice that I'm a little tired, and so this is going to be a short show. I had something else going on this week that I guess, took a little more out of me mentally than I thought. You've been listening to our outro music choices, and we're going to run them. This is a partial list, and we're going to run them for a while and do probably a runoff vote. Thanks for joining us. We hope you're having a great week, and we will see you next Thursday. Bye for now. God bless. Take care.